Alright guys, so we installed this patch that Rusty Beauties made for us and we're pretty happy with it. Yeah, so we're not gonna grind it any further than that. This side is good. It's gonna be covered, you know, so here of course I'm gonna throw some seam sealer also on the weld. And the other side is more important as usual. And this is the other side. We're gonna throw some fiberglass on it one day when we get to that point. And yeah, we're done here. Oh, I have to do some plug welds over there, and everything else is done. Then of course we're gonna have to do plug welds here underneath, but that's when the body is flipped. I made the hose before I installed the patch, so when the body is flipped we're gonna do those. But other than that, I'm really happy with flanges and everything, how it matches. And the kick panel fits well now. I made this notch here so it can go like that in this flange, and then it fits perfect. So now I can mark where to cut this flange, because Rusty Beauties sent me this patch a little bit longer, so I can trim it where I want. And actually I will mark also where these nuts are, so here we'll just make notches and we'll make the holes for the nuts. But we're not gonna weld this patch yet. We're not gonna put it in. I'm gonna actually have to make holes for plug welds from inside for here, holes for plug welds all the way here and here. So all four sides we need to make holes for plug welds. And before that though, before we weld it, we're gonna deal with this A-post. And inside it looks nice and cozy, huh? Alright, so let's see here how far we need to cut. And I can see the rocker is rotten there too, but I think it's a good idea to keep a hole there, so if there's any water going inside that A-post, it can go even deeper and leak through the holes on the, you know, on the inner side of the seal. There are holes there for drainage, which actually I have to drill through the strengthener piece now too. Yeah, because now on this side of strengthener piece, whatever water is there, there's no way to go through. So I'm gonna drill the holes that are on the drop of the floor through the strengthener piece too, so any water that goes inside the seal can drain through those holes. So I think even here it's a good idea to keep a hole, so any water that is inside the A-post, because obviously there is water there, any water that goes there can drain inside the B-post, inside the A-post, inside the seal. I don't know what to do, whether I should repair that or just cut it and leave it open. What do you think, guys? For strength, well, I have the strengthener piece inside, right? Yeah, I hear you. It was a good idea to repair this from inside before we install the inner seal, right? And the strengthener piece. I hear you guys, but I didn't think of that. The next side, we're gonna do it. time for lunch. After lunch, I'm gonna show you what I think we're gonna do. Alright, back from lunch, and let's see now with this little thingy if we can cut this, even though so far I've never been lucky with this tool. Okay, that's a nice surprise. This time, how was it? Oh. I told you they were fast. Huh. Nice. What the heck is that? Foot. Okay. So there are 3 patches here. One is for here. Okay. This one. Oh yeah, nice. And what's this one then? Oh, this one's here for the back, okay. Good. These guys are good, they think of everything. Alright, so let's weld this one first, then we're gonna do this one at the bottom, and then we're gonna close them up. Okay? This one I asked them to do it with overlock. Ah, good. And there's a hole right here for the fender mount that I can put my screwdriver in, but I need a longer screwdriver like this one. And now I can push it up from underneath. Perfect. Alright, it's done. Aha! Oh, it's not. The 2 patches are welded. I even welded this from inside. I decided that it's gonna be easier and cleaner. And now though, before I weld this one, I'm gonna paint everything inside, and I'm gonna paint this side because those guys, Rusty Beauties, they forgot to paint it inside. I know the flange was supposed to be pointing in, but those guys, Rusty Beauties, you know, they don't listen to anybody. They said the flanges must be pointing out, it will be stronger and better, so I said, okay, if you think so, it's not gonna interfere with anything, so I just listen to them. You know, they are stubborn. You tell them one thing and they keep doing it their own way. Yeah, so we're gonna paint that and we're gonna move to something else temporarily until it dries well. It matches so well that it clicked in place. I can't even take it out now. Wow. Are these guys good? How should I not listen to them after? It's not gonna be perfect, but at least as far as we can reach. Alright, let it dry. We're gonna move to something else. Okay, and this other area I think is here. So I already cut this out of here, but unfortunately I lost the footage of how I cut it. Not that it's so important, but what happened was that I cut it a long time ago. I shot the video and the clip was together with some other raw footage for my previous video, and usually when I finish editing a video I erase all the raw footage because otherwise my computer is gonna be full. So I erased the raw footage for the previous video and I forgot totally that I had footage that I haven't used yet. So you have to imagine that this is here and I cut it off like okay. So now that it's cut off, I have absolutely no idea how am I gonna start here, what overlaps what. What I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna get rid of all the patches that they added. Then I'm gonna try to assess what's the situation underneath. I'm gonna cut all the rust away, and I asked Jake to order the back piece for the B-post, so that's gonna be here soon. And in the meantime we're gonna try to reconstruct everything else that we can here in this corner. That's what was left from the B-post, in the back of the B-post, and they just wrapped it in their favorite way. So I guess that's a good thing. I guess this cover comes at the end, so we can reconstruct this wall here, we can reconstruct the wheel well, make them overlap like here, and basically almost finish this corner. And when this other piece comes for here, the back of the big post, we can just put it on. Now we're just gonna have hard time taking everything out, but we have to do it. And this is how I deal with the spot welds when I'm too lazy to drill them. Actually here I can't even find them. It's not that bad actually, huh? Always when I look at it first and I see all rust and patches and I'm like, wow, how am I gonna deal with that? But as soon as I cut off the rust and all the pieces that don't belong there, and then it is so simple. Of course, everything here is nice and clean, so now we can start building it up. And the first step is we have to install the nut for the seat belt here. But this plate, first of all, it doesn't look great, so we'd better replace it. And second, I noticed here it was attached only to the B-post by a plug weld and also a couple of welds here at the wheel well at the back. So that was the only thing that was holding it there. And I don't like the idea, so first of all, we're gonna make a new plate out of this. We're gonna cut a new plate, we're gonna see if we can use this nut or another one. I guess we should cut this off and tap it again and fix it. And then We might build something of half by half tubing to hold it like that, so we can weld it to the seams, to the seal, then again to the B-post, to the wheel well at the back, and maybe to the floor as well. So we're gonna try to weld it to as many panels as possible here to make sure it is nice and safe. Actually, KJ is not busy, so I'm gonna ask him to make 2 of these for me, one for here, one for the other side. And maybe in the meantime I'm gonna go back to the A-post, or I'm gonna start building those patches here. We will see. But KJ is gonna make that. KJ, how fast can you do one of these?
Right away.
Oh wow! Oh my god, you have to teach me how you do these things, KJ. Alright, so the A-post is finished here, rebuilt, and I ground it nicely on this side because part of this is seen when the door is open. Here I didn't care too much, and I painted all over the place here, the surfaces that are gonna be hidden, and I made all these holes here for plug welds on this. Actually I still have to make here in the bottom. And we're gonna weld this here, but we'll leave the paint dry, and while it dries we're gonna go back to the B-post because KJ made that for us so fast that it's amazing. What the heck? That's better. Alright. Okay. And it's finally time to shut this window closed. I just realized that I made a big mistake here, guys. This seam shouldn't be like that. I put the piece inside because that's how it was when I took it apart, but now I realize that probably it was like that because they changed the seal and they just put it on the outside. But according to me now, the logic says that this piece needs to be outside because any water that comes out of here, the drainage, doesn't go back in, because now there's this is obviously here a water collector. Water is coming out from here, from everywhere. It's coming here and draining down through this actually and going down, which is a stupid idea, but that's how it was designed. So I think this piece was supposed to be on the outside, so it overlaps this way instead of this way. Anyways, now I'm gonna have to, it's too late now to change it, so now I'm gonna do a continuous weld here, and of course when the time comes I'm gonna seam seal that very well so water doesn't go back in. Doesn't make sense, right? Anyways, just letting you know, for the next one on the other side we're gonna put the whole piece outside. Alright, with all this brass there, it wasn't easy, but it is done. So this whole area is done. There's one part of the flange here which is kind of forgotten, but we will come back to it later. I just want to finish the B-post now. Alright, so the bottom of the B-post is assembled, and now we can start building this piece, which actually, like this piece, the vertical one that we have to extend, is usually one piece with the B-post. But what I'm gonna do now, because it looks like this flange, the one that I left of the B-post, is a little bit too thin, I'm just gonna make the other piece. I'm not gonna do butt welding there, I'm gonna overlap it, because it's not gonna be very solid if I do a butt welding there. I'm just gonna overlap it on the inside and I'm gonna weld it on the outside. How about that? I mean, how about this? Not bad. Well, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna weld it now from the outside with the bead roller. Now it is a joke how I was making those pressings before. There's some more holes here that need to be fixed, but I'm gonna make separate patches for there, because I don't want to cut the whole piece out. Or we will see, we might later we might cut the whole top section and replace the rest of it, but for now I think this is good. Alright, I welded it, but I couldn't grind it because I had to do some other things that a customer showed up and we had to deal with that, and official work is more important, you know. So I left this at this stage, and now it is the end of the day, so I'm not gonna keep going on that. I'm gonna jump to the GT6 now. So I guess I'm gonna end up this video here, because I think tonight I'm gonna upload what I have, and in the next video we're gonna cut this to the proper shape here. We're gonna make this bow continue here straight down, and we're gonna build the wheel well, and then after that we're gonna have to jump here where I can see a big mess. It doesn't look like a big mess, but believe me, it is a big mess. I'm gonna show you. So thanks for watching, guys. That's it for this video. I'm gonna see you in the next one.